Hello and welcome to my Tuesday forecast. So let's get started with the euro and the US dollar. Currently the euro and the US dollar is ranging. So we broke the low here, retraced, then we broke this high, retraced, and currently we broke the low, retraced. So I classify this as ranging price action. And what I can actually forecast is that we will continue with this sort of price action. So I think that we will continue just ranging, something like this. And currently I know that on the euro we are stuck in this larger range also. So what I need to see in order to be looking for a trade is I need to see a nice big push to the upside. Then I will look for a bump trade, or we get a nice big push, pull back another push, look for a bullet long trade. We can also get a nice clean ascending structure, and if we then get a nice large impulse to the downside, then I would look for a trade. So I'm looking for the same thing to the downside. I'm looking for a large impulse, then I would look for a bump. I'm also looking for a nice large impulse, pull back another impulse, look for a bullet short trade. And I'm also waiting to see if we get a nice clean descending structure, something like this. And then we get a nice big impulse to the upside, look for a long trade. So yeah, I really need to see some clean momentum either to the upside or to the downside, because we are stuck in this larger range. And I know that if we get a smaller setup, it is not high probability. So yeah, waiting for some moves. Then let's move on to the euro and the Japanese yen. So what we had right here is we broke the low, retraced, then we broke the high, retraced. We got a small ascending at the top, then we broke the low, retraced, and broke the low with nice big momentum. So let me take it back right to this point. So right here I was looking if we get this nice big impulse and then we get an opportunity to enter, so a continuation pattern. What we actually got, we got this huge wick, and then we actually did form a bump. So right here would be an entry for a bump, but it didn't fit my plan because I was looking for a large range right here. So what I was looking for is, let me just show you. At this point I was seeing a huge impulse, I was seeing the huge wick. What I wanted to then see is a nice large wide range, then break of the first bump high and a retrace. Then I would be willing to enter, but what we actually got, we got this quick bump, which didn't fit my plan, because you know that when we see a huge wick, the euro and the Japanese yen can just ascend for a bit and then shoot to the upside. That is a common characteristic. So what actually happened is that we did do that. So as we can see, we had an ascending, then we shot to the upside. Currently we are ranging, so what I can forecast is that we will continue with this sort of range, with the sort of price action between the low and the high. And what I would like to see, so I would like to see a nice big impulse to the downside that breaks the low. I would look for a bump trade, or I would like to see a nice big impulse, pull back another impulse, look for a bullet short trade. Also I would like to see a nice clean descending structure, then a big impulse to the upside, look for a long trade. And same thing to the upside, I would like to see a nice big impulse, look for a bump trade. Or maybe we get an impulse, pull back another impulse, look for a bullet long trade. This is then very high probability since we are trending. So we have one impulse, pull back another impulse. And also what I can expect is that we can get an ascending structure that breaks the high, then we pull back to the downside, get a bump trade. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So very similar to the euro and the US dollar, I'm looking for some large momentum because we are currently stuck in this range. And as we can see on the larger picture, I would classify this price action as ranging also. So I need to see a nice big push either to the upside or to the downside. So now for the Aussie and the US dollar, what we had actually in the prior price action, so let me take this back. We had this range, we had an ascending structure into that range, so I know that there were liquidity areas right here. And what happened when we reached the upper liquidity area? So we had an ascending, and then I was looking for a nice big push to the downside, because I know that the market makers are taking out people's stops, which are located right here in this area. And we did actually get a nice big push. So at this point I had a pending short order at the inside bar, so at this bar right here, so at this level, but I didn't get tagged in. Instead we got a nice big impulse, but what happened at the end of the impulse? We got a huge wick. And after I see a huge wick, I want to see a range, and I don't want to see a momentum shift to the upside. What we actually got, so we got a bump opportunity right here. Here was the entry for the bump, but to me it didn't fit my plan, because we got a huge wick, we got one candle that retraced, we got a second aggressive candle that retraced. We didn't get enough of a range, so this was too small of a range, and then we got a bomb entry, so I stayed out of this one. It didn't fit my plan at all. It was a very aggressive pullback. And then I was looking to get in on a bullet short on this inside bar right here, but I needed to see a nice clean ascending structure to that price level, so something like this. But what we actually got is we got an impulse to the upside, so I saw a momentum shift. We went down and went back up with, let's say, similar momentum. And if we compare these candles with these three candles, we can see it's a similar sort of momentum. So after seeing a momentum shift right here, I was not willing to place a pending short order at this level. And what happened then? So we continued with this sort of price action, and now we are currently ranging around. So currently I'm waiting for the break of the low or the high. I'm not looking for any trades. And what I can forecast is that we continue with this sort of price action. Why? Because I'm seeing this huge wick. And after I see a large impulse and a huge wick, I expect a larger range. What I would like to see is very similar to the other pairs. I would like to see a nice big push to the downside, look for a bomb trade. I would like to see a push, pull back, another push, look for a bullet short trade. Or I would like to see a nice clean descending structure, then push to the upside, look for a long trade. And same thing to the upside, I would like to see a nice big impulse, look for a bomb trade. I would like to see a nice big impulse, pull back, another impulse, look for a bullet, a long trade. Or maybe we get a nice clean ascending structure, then a big impulse, look for a short trade. Those are some of the possibilities on the Aussie. And what I also am keeping in mind is that we are in this range. So there is no clear momentum either to the upside or to the downside. And we know that when we see a range, there are liquidity areas, so below and above the range. And we need to watch out what happens when the price reaches those liquidity areas. Do we just go into it and retrace, or do we get a large impulse and then small continuation? So yeah, that is something to keep in mind. Currently we are not trending, we are ranging. For me personally, I see that we have a descending into an ascending, into, let's say, an impulse but then an ascending structure. So when we have that sort of price action, which is an ascending into descending, this signals to us ranging price action. Now let's move on to the Aussie and the Japanese yen. So very similar story to the Aussie and the US dollar. Let me take it back right here. So at this point, what I was seeing this range. I was seeing this ranging price action. Then I was seeing that we are getting a push to the upside, but we are breaking the highs, retracing, breaking the highs, retracing. So we are getting an ascending structure at the top. And I know that there are liquidity areas right here, because I'm seeing a range, and above and below a range are liquidity areas. And I am seeing price breaking and retracing into the liquidity area, which to me signals that there is a high probability we will push to the downside. So we did get a push to the downside, but it had a huge wick. So this didn't fit my plan to look for any short trades. After that, we got the continuation of the momentum. So we got this nice large impulse right here. And at the end of the impulse, we got large double wicks. So when I see large double wicks, I want to see no momentum shift and I want to see a wider range. But actually what we got is we got this quick bomb trade. So this would be a bomb trade. This would be the entry candle, but it was too quick. I didn't see a range and it didn't fit my plan. Then I was looking for if we get a nice ascending structure to the bullet entry point, but then again it would not be very high probability because the price would need to cross a big distance. So what we got is we got actually a momentum shift to the upside for me personally. So these three candles negated any trades that I was looking for because I saw a clear momentum shift here. And when I see large double wicks and a clear momentum shift, I want to stay out of any trades. So currently I'm also waiting for the break of the high or the low. I'm not looking for any trades. And to me, what I can forecast is that we will just continue ranging in this sort of area. Because I'm seeing the large double wicks, it signals to me a larger range. So that is something that I can logically conclude. And what I would like to see to enter, so to look for a trade, I would like to see a nice big impulse to the upside, look for a bump, or a nice big impulse, pull back another impulse, look for a bullet long trade. Or I would like to see an ascending structure, push to a downside, look for a short trade. And same thing to a downside, nice big impulse, look for a look for a bump trade. A nice big impulse, pull back another impulse, look for a bullet short trade. Or a descending structure, push to the upside, look for a long trade. Yeah, it all depends on what happens next. So I'm waiting for the break of the low or the high, and I'm waiting to see a nice big impulse. I didn't take any trades right here. As I explained earlier, we saw large double wicks, I saw a momentum shift, and I didn't see a wide range. So it didn't fit my plan. And yeah, that's it for the forecast, and I will see you in the next one.